3 days after a lavish wedding in Jaipur, a honeymoon paradise in Kovalam turned into a nightmare. Dawn that day not only brought a gentle light to the Kerala coast, but also revealed a chilling truth. The lifeless body of Rohit Reddy, a wealthy and philanthropic young businessman lying at the foot of a cliff. The death was reported as an accident, a slip while hunting for a romantic sunrise moment. But really, could a man revered in Hyderabad, a man who had just sworn his love in front of thousands of guests, be gone so easily? Clues slowly emerged like a knife tearing apart the drama. Sedatives in his blood, a camera recording his wife's strange footsteps at 3 a.m., and on Rohit's laptop, an unsent email with a haunting last message: "If anything happens to me, investigate Ananya." From the sweet light of a fairy tale wedding, the story turns into the darkness of betrayal and ambition. And it is the newlywed wife, Ananya Sharma, intellectual, beautiful, who entered Rohit's life like a dream, who becomes the center of this nightmare. Behind those gentle eyes is love, or is it a long-planned conspiracy? Let's find out more about this case right after this. Rohit Reddy grew up in a prominent real estate family. His father was one of the city's first real estate technology developers, owning several new townships in the booming IT hub. His mother was a philanthropist who was active in community activities, helping underprivileged women and children. Rohit inherited both, his father's business sense and his mother's kindness. Friends describe him as a good listener, not arrogant, and deeply interested in education. As his career took off, Rohit started his own scholarship fund, Future Minds, which has funded hundreds of students from disadvantaged backgrounds who have achieved excellent results. In the eyes of society, Rohit is the dream husband, rich, kind, and with a bright future. He is proof that not all rich kids live a life of indulgence. Some truly want to leave a humane mark on the world. Ananya Sharma was born in Lucknow into a middle-class banking family. She was educated, intelligent, attractive, and was admired by many as a model of a modern woman, beautiful and financially savvy. But behind the glamour lies a shady past. While working at a private equity firm in Delhi, Ananya was involved in a fund embezzlement scandal. The case was covered up and never made public, but it was widely known in the financial world that she had escaped the scandal through her underground connections. With her elegant looks, Ananya easily attracted Rohit. The Reddy family was initially hesitant, but her confidence and smooth talking won them over. And so, a lavish wedding was held in Jaipur, where the ancient palace became the stage for a fairy tale love affair. Rohit and Ananya's wedding took place in the summer of 2019, and thousands of guests from the worlds of business, politics, and entertainment were invited. Photos circulating on social media showed a Rajasthani palace ablaze with lights, fireworks exploding into the sky, and the couple walking to traditional music mixed with a Western orchestra. After the wedding, the newlyweds flew to Kerala, choosing Kovalam Beach Resort, one of the luxury hotels overlooking the Indian Ocean, for their honeymoon. The first 2 days, the couple continuously posted photos on Instagram: candlelit dinners, sunsets on the beach, flawless happy smiles. To their friends and family, Rohit and Ananya seemed like the perfect couple. A marriage that bridged two worlds: the enduring wealth of the Reddy family and the sharp intellect of a modern woman. But no one knows that. Behind those sweet photos, Ananya is carrying a huge debt, more than 300 crore rupees, to underground organizations in the financial world. Those debts are not only a burden, but also a noose tightening around her life. Ananya needs a way out, and that way out in her eyes is marriage to Rohit Reddy, the heir to a real estate and investment fortune worth nearly 800 crore Indian rupees. Could that sweet love story have been just a carefully calculated game from the beginning? On June 12, 2019, Rohit and Ananya checked into Kovalam Beach Resort, a luxury hotel on the Kerala coast, where suites overlook the deep blue ocean. The setting was tailor-made for newlyweds: glorious sunsets, the gentle sound of waves, and romantic candlelit dinners on the white sand. For the first 2 days, the two lived in complete sweetness. Photos posted by Rohit on Instagram showed him smiling brightly, his arm around Ananya's shoulder. Another photo showed Ananya leaning her head on her husband's shoulder, her eyes sparkling as if this was the beginning of a perfect life. Their friends left hundreds of comments congratulating them, praising their beautiful love. No one could have guessed that behind those bright smiles, a drama was being set up step by step. On the second night in Kovalam, Rohit called a close friend in Hyderabad. He said in a somewhat pensive tone, "I don't understand. Ananya changed so much after marriage. Something was wrong, but I didn't know how to say it." His friends dismissed it as the stress of a new marriage, advising Rohit to relax and enjoy the trip. But Rohit's instincts, which were keen on business, seemed to be warning him of something dark coming. That night, hotel staff reported seeing Ananya emerge from her room alone, wearing a long coat that covered most of her body. She headed straight for the staff kitchen, where there was a small exit that led down to the beach. When asked, Ananya simply smiled and said she wanted to go for a walk and get some fresh air. On the morning of June 15th, the sun had just risen above the horizon, casting a rosy glow over Kovalam beach. A group of tourists found a man lying motionless at the foot of a cliff. They shouted for the hotel staff, and within minutes, the local police arrived. The victim was quickly identified as Rohit Reddy. His body bore multiple injuries consistent with a fall from a great height. But what caught the police's attention was his unusual posture, as if he had made no attempt to grab or break his fall. The news spread quickly. Young Hyderabad businessman dies on honeymoon. Local newspapers called it a tragic accident. The Reddy family was informed in a late-night phone call. The father collapsed, while his mother broke down in tears as soon as she heard the word, death. Meanwhile, Ananya appeared before the police with a tearful face, repeatedly saying, "He just wanted to take some pictures of the sunrise. I didn't expect this to happen." At first glance, no one suspected anything about the young bride who had lost her husband just 3 days after their wedding. But for seasoned investigators, a few small details began to raise questions. Local police took initial statements. A hotel employee said that at around 3 a.m., he saw Ananya leave her room but return through the staff entrance instead of the main one. This caught the attention of the police, as there was no reason for a VIP guest to choose that route. In addition, in Rohit's room on the desk, the laptop was still open. In the drafts box, the investigator discovered an unsent email with a brief but chilling message. "If anything happens to me, investigate Ananya." At this point, the death that seemed like an accident began to have a sinister tinge. In Hyderabad, news of Rohit's death spread like wildfire. The community was shocked. A 33-year-old businessman, kind and wealthy, had passed away suddenly after just getting married. Indian media focused on Kerala, where the incident took place. Articles began comparing Rohit's death to the honeymoon murders that had shocked the country and the world. Public opinion was divided between sympathy, believing it was an accident, and suspicion, especially after information about the draft email was leaked. Kerala police immediately decided not to close the case as a tourist accident. They opened a formal criminal investigation, and the name of Ananya Sharma, the young wife who had just cried to the press, gradually became the center of suspicion. Rohit Reddy's body was brought to the Trivandrum Forensic Institute that morning. Initially, the death was attributed to multiple injuries due to a fall from a high cliff onto sharp rocks. But when the forensic doctors conducted tests, a horrifying truth was revealed. Rohit's blood contained high levels of diazepam, a powerful sedative. This immediately raises the question, why would a healthy honeymooner have sedatives in his blood? And if Rohit had been anesthetized or rendered unconscious, was the fall really an accident? The forensic report also showed that Rohit had no scratches on his hands, a common sign of someone trying to grab onto something while falling. Thus, he seemed to have lost the ability to resist before falling off the cliff. While the Reddy family wept in Hyderabad, the investigation team in Kovalam began analyzing the hotel's entire CCTV system. One video that woke the investigators up At 3:07 a.m., Ananya Sharma, in a long, dark coat, left the double room she and Rohit were staying in. Curiously, she did not exit through the main lobby but instead turned down the staff corridor, then disappeared from view for about 25 minutes. At 3:33, Ananya was caught on camera returning, in a hurry, and again passing through the staff entrance. When asked why, Ananya replied that she had trouble sleeping, so she went for a walk on the beach. But this explanation was quickly discredited, as the entrance did not lead directly to the beach but through the hotel's service area. The investigators also examined the laptop found in Rohit's room. In the drafts box there was an unsent email, scribbled in plain English. "If anything happens to me, please investigate Ananya." The content is short but carries a terrifying weight. Why would Rohit leave such a message? Had he suspected his wife all along? Or had Rohit realized the terrifying truth during their honeymoon? When news of the email leaked, public opinion exploded. Many believed that Rohit had a premonition of his own death. Another important turning point came from international banking. A few weeks before the wedding, Ananya made a series of overseas transfers. The total amount was tens of crores of Indian rupees, spread across multiple accounts in Dubai and Singapore. Investigators suspect that Ananya was trying to withdraw cash to repay debts to underground organizations she was involved in. One of the bank documents seized showed that Ananya had debts of over 300 crore rupees, enough to make anyone desperate. The motive for the murder now becomes clearer. If Rohit were to die, Ananya would become the main heir to the Reddy family's real estate and investment fortune, worth nearly 800 crore Indian rupees. When summoned, Ananya appeared before the police with a red and swollen face and tears in her eyes. She repeatedly asserted, "I love Rohit. He is everything to me. His death was an accident. Please don't doubt me." But Ananya contradicted herself in her response. Initially, she said she had spent the entire night in her room. But when confronted with the CCTV footage, she was forced to admit that she had gone outside, before quickly justifying that she just wanted some fresh air. The investigators were not convinced. They saw a trace of nervousness in the way Ananya kept touching her tissues and avoiding eye contact. From experience, they knew this was a sign of a cover-up. Within a week, the image of the beautiful, intellectual bride that had once made social media admirers had completely collapsed. Major newspapers began to exploit Ananya's past financial scandals in Delhi. Some former colleagues revealed that she had been under internal investigation for embezzlement, but had escaped thanks to her connections. The Reddy family, though initially shocked and heartbroken, gradually realized the truth. They publicly stated, "We have absolute faith in the Kerala police investigation. If Ananya is indeed behind Rohit's death, we will never forgive her." After 3 weeks of investigation, the Kerala police officially released the following report. Rohit Reddy's death was not an accident, but a result of deliberate action. Diazepam was present in the victim's blood, indicating that he had been given or forced to take it before he collapsed. Hotel CCTV confirmed that Ananya left the room at an unusual time. Rohit's emails were circumstantial evidence of his suspicions and fears. Ananya's bank transactions clearly indicated a financial motive. Based on the evidence, the police arrested Ananya Sharma on charges of premeditated murder and financial fraud. The moment she was led away in handcuffs, Ananya stopped crying. She looked straight into the camera lens, coldly accepting that her role had finally come to an end. Before meeting Rohit, Ananya's life had been a whirlwind. Police records revealed that she had worked at a private equity firm in Delhi that had been embroiled in a corruption scandal a few years earlier. Although Ananya was never brought to justice, several former colleagues said that she was directly involved in the embezzlement of tens of crores of Indian rupees from client funds. After the incident, Ananya lost her job and her reputation was severely damaged. But instead of stepping back and starting over, she turned to underground lenders to continue investing in the hope of recovering her losses. These loans quickly ballooned, and by 2018, Ananya owed more than 300 crore Indian rupees, a figure far beyond her ability to repay. Not only was there financial pressure, the lenders also threatened her life if she did not repay on time. In Ananya's eyes, her life was at a crossroads. It was at this time that Ananya met Rohit at an economics conference in Delhi. Rohit, with his calm appearance, friendly smile, and humanitarian ideals, was quickly attracted to this intellectual and sharp woman. In Rohit's eyes, Ananya presented an interesting contrast. He was a wealthy but humble heir, and she was a modern, independent woman who seemed to have no need to rely on anyone. Their love story progressed quickly, and after just a few months, Rohit decided to propose. For Ananya, this was a godsend. She realized that by entering the Reddy family, all her debts could be settled. Even if Rohit were gone, she would become the owner of a huge fortune, nearly 800 crore rupees in real estate and investments. The wedding in Jaipur was dubbed a fairy tale by both the media and society. But for Ananya, it was more of a contract than a love affair. In the sparkling wedding photos, no one could see the calculating eyes behind her smile. Investigations later revealed that, even before the wedding, Ananya had secretly opened a series of overseas bank accounts. From there, she transferred small amounts of money, pooling them into a reserve fund to flee once the plan was complete. Some internal emails recovered by the police showed that Ananya had been in contact with financial intermediaries in Dubai. In one message she wrote, "I will soon have access to large funds. Prepare a way to withdraw." Kovalam was more than just a romantic destination, the investigation suggests. Ananya chose the location partly because of its unique terrain, steep cliffs overlooking the sea. For her, it was the perfect accident. If Rohit had fallen, no one would have suspected much. Police believe that on the night of the incident, Ananya gave Rohit a glass of wine mixed with the sedative diazepam. As Rohit began to lose consciousness, she dragged him to the edge of the cliff, waited until dawn, when many tourists take pictures of the sunrise, and pushed him off. His death would then be disguised as an accidental fall during a romantic trip. The only thing Ananya did not expect was, Rohit left behind a draft email. Perhaps he sensed a cold change in his new wife. When confronted with financial evidence, Ananya tried to deny it. "I just wanted to help Rohit expand his investments abroad. The money had nothing to do with debt." But the transaction records prove otherwise. The money never went into legitimate funds, but instead went straight into anonymous accounts in Dubai and Singapore. Some of it was withdrawn in cash, with traces leading back to the underground financial brokers with whom Ananya had connections. With that evidence, Ananya's motives became clear. Paying off debts to criminal organizations, inheriting a huge fortune from Rohit, fleeing overseas with a new identity. Despite Ananya's careful planning, Rohit's death raised too many questions. Unsent emails, surveillance cameras, and forensic results all pointed against her. In her final interrogation before her indictment, the investigator asked a single question. "If you really loved Rohit, why did you open an account in Dubai before the wedding?" Ananya was silent. For the first time, tears no longer flowed, but instead a cold gaze. To the police, it was like an unspoken confession. Ananya Sharma's motives were not only greed, but also desperation due to her huge debts. But instead of seeking redemption, she chose the most cruel path, turning love into a tool, turning marriage into a trap, and turning her honeymoon into a crime scene. On July 10, 2019, after nearly a month of investigation, Kerala police formally arrested Ananya Sharma on charges of culpable homicide under Section 302 of the Indian Penal Code, along with other charges of financial fraud and money laundering. The news immediately made the front pages of most major newspapers. The three-day bride, from fairytale wedding to cold-blooded crime. The image of Ananya, in a white sari as she was escorted by police, quickly became the focus of national attention. Those who had admired her intellectual beauty now saw a woman accused of murdering her newlywed husband. The case was heard in the Kerala High Court in October 2019. Due to its serious nature and the public attention it generated, the court was packed with press, law students, and curious civilians. The prosecution opened with a shocking statement. "This is more than just murder. This is the most brazen betrayal of love, marriage, and trust." The prosecutor presented all the evidence. forensic reports confirming that Rohit had high levels of diazepam in his blood, CCTV footage of Ananya leaving the room at 3 a.m., unsent emails from Rohit, bank records proving Ananya had a financial motive. Ananya remained calm in court. Her lawyer tried to argue that Rohit may have taken diazepam on his own due to insomnia. Going out at 3 a.m. was just a personal habit of enjoying a night walk on the beach. The unsent email could have been a misunderstanding in the marital relationship. Ananya broke down in tears as she recalled Rohit's death, saying she too was a victim, vilified by the media and hated by her husband's family. But the prosecutor immediately retorted, "If you were really the victim, why did you open so many accounts in Dubai and Singapore before the wedding? Why did you transfer tens of crores of Indian rupees abroad when you were preparing to marry the Reddys?" The courtroom fell silent. Ananya could not answer. One of the key witnesses was a hotel employee who saw Ananya leave her room through the staff entrance in the early hours of the morning. He testified in court, "I have worked at this hotel for 15 years. I have never seen a VIP guest go through that entrance except that night." In addition, the forensic expert detailed the analysis. Rohit showed no signs of reflexes when he fell, proving that the victim was no longer conscious at the time of death. In addition, the bank provided further evidence that just days after Rohit's death, Ananya tried to contact her to confirm her inheritance of investments in her husband's name. This further strengthened the theory that she had planned it all in advance. In court, Rohit's parents sat in the front row. The father had white hair, his face was deeply etched with pain, but his eyes were steadfast. When the prosecutor showed Rohit's email, the courtroom fell silent. The mother burst into tears, clutching her son's portrait. Rohit's father stood up and said through tears, "My son did not deserve to die like this. He believed in love, but love killed him. I just hope the court will bring justice, not just to Rohit, but to all those who believe that marriage is sincere, not a business." After nearly 4 months of trial, the Kerala High Court delivered its verdict in February 2020. The judge concluded, "The circumstantial evidence, taken together, was strong enough to prove that Ananya Sharma had planned to kill Rohit Reddy to seize his property. The financial motive was clear, and the act was carefully orchestrated. Ananya's testimony contained many contradictions and was not convincing. The court sentenced Ananya Sharma to life in prison for premeditated murder, and an additional 10 years for financial fraud and money laundering. Her overseas bank accounts were frozen, and all of her illegal funds were confiscated. When she heard the verdict, Ananya just closed her eyes, did not cry, did not react. It was as if she had been preparing for this moment. The Rohit Reddy case has been a hot topic in the Indian media for months. It has been dubbed the honeymoon murder and has shaken up high society. Many editorials have focused on marriages of convenience, warning wealthy families to be wary of relationships painted with a veneer of perfection. Others have focused on financial crime, pointing out how shadow lending institutions push people to the brink. The Reddy family later founded the Rohit Reddy Foundation, a non-profit dedicated to raising awareness about financial crime and protecting young people from toxic relationships. On social media, many shared the last photo Rohit posted on Instagram, with the caption, "Love with all your heart, don't let greed blind you." The trial is over, but the echoes of the Rohit Reddy case are still reverberating across India. Television broadcasts special reports. Newspapers keep mentioning the phrase, honeymoon murder. The story has gone beyond the borders of Kerala, Hyderabad, and Rajasthan. It has become a mirror for the whole society to reflect on the dangers lurking behind the curtain of glamour. In the eyes of many, Rohit is not only a victim of an individual crime, but also a victim of greed, of hidden debts, and of a society increasingly caught up in a materialistic vortex. The Reddy family went through dark days after losing their only son. The mother was devastated while the father, a tough businessman, shed tears many times in front of the press. But then, they decided to turn their grief into strength. Just a few months later, the Rohit Reddy Foundation was officially launched. The foundation focuses on 2 goals. 1. Providing scholarships to poor students, continuing Rohit's unfinished wish. 2. Organizing seminars and media campaigns on financial crimes and marriages of convenience, warning young people not to get caught up in marriages based solely on money. At the fund launch, Rohit's father said tearfully, "My son believed in love and sincerity. He paid with his life. We don't want another family to suffer the pain we did." Indian society has been abuzz with the case. Many wealthy parents have admitted that they are more vigilant about their children's relationships. Universities and NGOs have also used the case as a case study in discussions about financial crime, romance fraud, and social ethics. Some sociologists say the Rohit Reddy case is not just a story of betrayed love, but also a warning about the degeneration of marital values in the age of money. When greed and desperation intersect, marriage, instead of being a connection of two souls, can become a cold battlefield. When the story ends, what remains is not only anger towards Ananya Sharma, but also endless regret for Rohit Reddy, a man who had everything, but still believed and loved until the end. Rohit's unsent email, "If anything happens to me, investigate Ananya," is not only incriminating evidence, but also a reminder to all of us. Never ignore your gut feeling, especially when it comes to your safety and well-being. Rohit's death is an irreparable loss, but his story has become a beacon of light for many. It teaches us that love should be built on sincerity, not money. Trust is precious, but so is sobriety to protect yourself. Greed, no matter how well hidden, will eventually be exposed by justice. Kovalam, once a honeymoon paradise, is now forever associated with the memory of a horrific case. But it is also there that the truth has been unearthed, justice has spoken, and a message has been sent to the whole society. Marriage is not a power game. It is a bond of souls. When someone turns it into a tool for greed, the price will be paid. And so the story of Rohit Reddy, from a fairy tale wedding to a shocking case, ends with tears, anger, and a lasting life lesson.